All right. Hey, we're live here. We are Just a Guy with a Beer. This is episode number 29. Got it right this week. And I have an awesome guest. It's going to be a great show. Stick around. Just a Guy with a Beer, episode 29 starts right now. You made it to Monday. It's Just a Guy with a Beer with Scott Fryer. I'm your host, Scott Fryer, and I have an awesome guest tonight. I have the Siren of Stout here. We met on Instagram, and we hit it off. We're friends now, and I said, listen, you got to come on the show. Your Instagram content is fantastic, and I'm so happy you said yes to come here. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, this is Barb Baker, the Siren of Stout. Barb, welcome to the show.
Thank you for letting me be on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I would listen. We kind of like followed each other, and I saw your stuff, and I was like, "Wow, this." I mean, you're first of all, your content. I mean, you're very creative. I love the way that you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I was hoping I wasn't boring people to death.
Not at all. I love it because we follow a lot of like people, so I think we kind of like connected that way. But your Instagram stuff is great, and if you haven't followed her, she's Siren of Stout, just like we are here. And I put your information. You have a website, the Siren of Stout website, and I kind of got a little bit confused when I read about your working for Brooklyn, being an ambassador for Brooklyn. Well, because I thought you were in New York, right? And then we talked on Friday, and they were like, "Oh, I'm in Michigan." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, so I'm a Midwest event ambassador.
It totally made sense once we talked. So. Again,
well,
welcome.
If you're confused, that means other people are too. So you wouldn't be the only one.
Right. Well, maybe if I read more, I always try to read when I read things on people's Instagram pages or their websites. I always kind of skim over it, and I look for the keywords that I'm trying to find that I'm really looking for. So I didn't. Maybe I missed that. Maybe, but you are in Michigan, and. Mm-hmm. We talked about that because I have some family out there, and it's awesome that you're
Jacksonville.
Yeah. So listen, folks, you have to check out Barb's website. It's www.sirenofstout.com, and you gotta go read her bio. I'm not gonna say anything else, but listen, beer connoisseur, TV host. That's where I looked. I saw beer connoisseur, adventure junkie. Those are the kind of things that kind of stood out to me. So, tell me more about Barb. What makes Barb? Barb.
Ooh, what makes Barb Barb? Well, I'll start off with I'm a Gemini, so there's so many things that make Barb Barb because when you're a Gemini, it's like you like something for 15 minutes and then you don't, and then you like something else. And so every time somebody goes, "What are your top 5 beers?" I'm like, well, they've changed from last week, from yesterday, so everything makes Barb Barb. So I got into beer when I was in college, like a lot of people. I was invited to a fraternity party, and you and I are a little bit older, so I can be blunt. I got invited to a white fraternity party. And back when I went to college, sororities and fraternities were segregated, like the black sorority, white sorority. So I had only gone to the black fraternity parties. And they were usually held at a school-sponsored place. So there was no alcohol, no ratchetness. You were just there to dance and to look at boys. So the first time I was invited to a white fraternity party, a guy sat next to me in anthropology class. This really cute guy. He was a 5th-year senior. Sat next to me and just sat next to me every class. And I thought, why is this dude sitting next to me? He's kind of hot. Then finally, by the 3rd week into the school year, he was like, "Barb, hey, you want to come to a fraternity party? It's really cool." I go, okay, we'll see. I'll bring my girlfriends and we'll see how this is. So I went, and I had never been to one, so I didn't understand how big, white fraternities have their own houses.
Right.
There's kegs. It's just like Disneyland. So like when I got just like 2 blocks close, my girls and I was like, the line was like 2 blocks out from the house. So we go in, and we were treated so beautifully. I mean, we jumped the line. The guys introduced us to people. They were like, the alcohol and the beer are for our invited guests like you guys. So that was my very first introduction into beer, because I had my very first beer there.
Right.
Pretty good introduction.
That's usually where it starts at, right?
And it's literally gone up from there. I know there's a lot of people, especially a lot of marginalized people, a lot of women, a lot of people of color, who have not had the grandest experiences in the beer world. I have. I almost feel guilty saying that, because I have had such great experiences. It started at that fraternity party where I had a Heineken and I drank too much, to every situation, every brewery I've been at, every house party I've been to. I have just felt so welcomed in this industry. So that's why I'm so passionate about it. And I just really am passionate about it to get other people of color, other women, marginalized people to go, come in, because there's so much love here. There's so much welcomeness here. So that's how kind of I got into, I had to go down one path. I couldn't just talk about all of Barb, just the beer path.
Well, just the beer bar. I
I'm
would
just
not.
going to keep going in it. Yeah, that's just the beer Barb. That's not the athletic Barb or the
Everybody has
model Barb.
Private, right? But no, that's great. And like I said, that's a lot of people get their first beer experience at in college. Some happens a little earlier. Sometimes it happens. You go to those football keg parties in high school.
I was from a very conservative family.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen,
I was not. I went to Catholic school. There was no. Yeah.
Oh, see, but you probably didn't know the people. I went to Catholic high school. I didn't go to Catholic high school. I went to grammar school in Catholic high school. But I did go to a lot of parties at Catholic high school kids in high school. So. But yeah, college is really where everyone gets that first. Hey, am I drunk? Is this what it's like to be drunk right now? Next thing you know, here you are. I'm 50 years old now, and I probably had I've had a few beers in my day. That's where it all started. Yeah, I mean it started drinking Bud Light in one of my best friend's keg parties I won't say what year in case my mom's watching, because I know she probably is. I'm still afraid of my mom at 50 years old. So
I get it. Me too.
Yeah. I don't think it's a healthy respect. I don't think it's a fear anymore. It's more like a healthy respect. So
okay.
Yeah. My mom can still take me, I think. Spoon. She had the wooden spoon. So, but listen, your bio is fantastic. I read through. I say I don't want to ruin it for anybody who wants to go to your website and check it out, because it's very entertaining. At least the first part where it tells what you are, who you are. But reading through it, I came across some really cool things. I read about first of all, you're from Ohio, and
I'm from Steubenville, Ohio.
And I'll touch on that more just a little bit in a minute. But in high school, I saw you were in the band. You said you were a band nerd, but you were an amazing track athlete. So tell me about how come all of a sudden you just I'm going to run track and I'm going to be the state champ.
So kids, you can do both. You can be a band geek and an elite athlete. People usually do one or the other. You can do both. I started playing. I started at 5 years old playing classical piano, and then as I went on, I just kept playing guitar, just playing different things. And then the next thing is you're in 7th grade, you go in the band. So I played French horn, mellophone, trumpet. I did all that in the band. And at the same time, I remember I wanted to try out. I was a basketball player, but I was terrible. I'm the worst basketball player ever, which is so funny because stereotypically people would look at me and go, I bet you're really awesome, which is how I got on the team.
My son said,
I didn't try out. The coach just said
she looks really tall.
Yep. And the
Play
coach
basketball? I'm like, no, she's a runner.
just assumed that I was going to be good. So I didn't
Yeah.
even try out, got on the team, and I was awful. I knew I was awful, but I was like, whatever. If he feels that way, it'll be on him. So I knew I wanted to run track. I knew my father ran. My father passed when I was really young, but I knew that he was a good athlete, and I felt in my heart that I wanted to be a runner. But my mom said, I'm not going to let you try out for the track team because I want you to raise your grades. And I feel like she knew by the time your grades come out, the season would have been half over.
Right.
So what I did was I just went to practice and I told her I was at band practice. So until the first track meet, I was secretly going to practice. So when grades came out, I brought them up and she goes, okay, you can try out. I was like, oh, there's a track meet in 2 days. Oh, okay. So God bless this coach, Coach Mazzaferro. Now, Steubenville is a very Italian town, so every name I bring up is going to have an Italian ring to it. So Coach Mazzaferro saw me and he goes, I want you to jump over these hurdles. And I'm like, and kill myself? Like, no. He goes, no, I think you can do it. This is the great thing about coaches and people that love being coaches. They can see more in you than you can see in you. And I ran him, and he goes, you're going to be a champion doing that. That was it. That was the first time I ran him. I go, okay. So, I went to the first track meet, blew everybody away, and every time I ran, I won. So I basically remained undefeated in the 100 and 300 hurdles in every race all through high school, up until state championship. And then my senior year is when I won the state championship.
Awesome. That's amazing. And congratulations on that. And like you said, you're the only person from your high school ever to be a state champion in anything, wrestling, football, which is big in Ohio. If you're not
now now people have won after me. Subsequently, now there's people that have won, but I am the very first state champion in the history of my high school.
Wow, well, that's awesome. And I read that because, like, usually in Ohio, your high school is like won a state championship or football or wrestling, or basketball. So
Nope.
when you left there
mm-hmm.
and you went off to college, you went to Ohio University.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you, does that mean you don't like the Buckeyes?
I love the Buckeyes because they are a hometown college. I have no problems with the Buckeyes. Like I've had many good times in Columbus. Lots of great house parties in Columbus. So
it's a major college, so yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go on.
I'm a Penn State fan, so I had to ask the question: are you Ohio State, or are you? I know you're Ohio University, so sometimes there's different people that go to Ohio University are like, no, I am not. F the Buckeyes, no way.
No, and I get that, and I will say my college coach, my college assistant coach, went on to coach at U of M.
Right.
So I had to not like the Buckeyes anymore because my college coach was at U of M. So I have tons of U of M gear because she was there for 14, 15 years. So, I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, if it's like U of M and State, I'm going to go with U of M because I have all the gear. And I live in Michigan, and
So, now you're a Michigander, right?
Yeah, but Ohio. Yeah, I mean, I've been in Michigan for 20 years. So, and I don't know anybody that goes to Ohio State. I know people that go to U of M. Like I said, my coach was there. I love the head coach of track and field, Coach Henry. So. Yeah, I do a lot of videos, industrial films for them. So
that's pretty awesome. And most people that are from Ohio are they're militant Ohio State Buckeyes, or unless you've gone to Miami of Ohio or Ohio U, not. Or there's some other great colleges in Ohio as well. But most people I've met from Ohio are just like the most rabid.
Oh, they will fight.
Oh God, yes, I know this.
I've been in a bar, and my husband, it was Ohio State U of M, and we were down there. I don't know why we're down there. My husband was in a bar, and I was like, "Don't cheer for U of M unless you want to get your ass kicked," because Steubenville is a little bit county, so it's. I mean, I'm from there, I know, and they will fight. They will take out their teeth and fight you over Ohio State.
Teeth and fight you. I love it. That's awesome.
I'm like, keep your enthusiasm to yourself.
Yes, it's people are very territorial, especially when it comes to sports. Right now, are you a Browns? Are you a Browns fan, or are you a?
My dad was.
Okay.
They did this year. They did. I mean, because I'm in Detroit and I've been to a lot of games, and and the tailgating, and that gets you. You go to the tailgate, you have the camaraderie. Yep. I was real big with the Lions, but there's only so much heartbreak you can take.
I know. They just traded away their quarterback.
You just feel like you're. We had season tickets after the second year. My husband said, I refuse to waste another dime. I might as well just take my money and put it in the fireplace.
A lot of my family that lives out there, they're diehard Lions fans, and I feel that because I still kid them. I mean, I'm a Giants fan. And I've seen my team win, not lately. It's been a while, but I feel for the fans that have never seen their team win, and I root for them. So, I rooted for the Chiefs last year, and I'm rooting for the Chiefs on Sunday. So, I love Pat Mahomes. I think he's fantastic. So, we're coming up on a break. So when we come back, talk a little bit. We'll talk about your adventure that you had to Atlanta. I definitely want to hear about that because I was down there too at the Olympics, and I want to hear what your experience was because I thought it was awesome. And then we'll talk about what you're doing with beer, and I'm interested in the voiceover thing. I really want to hear a little bit about that because I saw some of your clips on your website. So I'm interested to see about your voice clips because maybe I'd send you something and you could record a commercial for me from one of my awesome sponsors. That would be awesome. So
I can do that.
That would be great.
That's what I do.
we are coming up against the break, so we're gonna step away. We're gonna come back with more of the Siren of Stout, Barb Baker, all the way from Michigan, and I would say snowy Michigan, but really it's snowy here in Connecticut. So
not snowing here.
Really, it's been a rough day so far here for New England and up and down the East Coast. So we'll be right back. You are watching Just a Guy with a Beer, episode number 29.
Just a Guy with a Beer with Scott Fryer. We'll be back in 2 and 2 belches. He needs a break to get rid of the gas. More of Just a Guy with a Beer coming up. If you're in the market for a used vehicle at a great price, head over to GNS Auto Sales in Franklin, Connecticut and take a look at their great selection. BMW, Audi, Dodge, Chevy, Ford, and so much more. And whether it's an oil change, brake repair, or the check engine light, let Pat, Wendy, and their team of professionals take care of all your automotive needs. That's GNS Auto Sales located in Franklin, Connecticut. Give them a call at 860-383-0050 or find them on the web at www.gnsautosales.llc.com.
Have you got a taste for exquisitely crafted beer and pub grub with a foodie flair? Then These Guys Brewing Company on Franklin Street in Norwich, Connecticut has got what you're craving. Enjoy a variety of classic and unique craft beers brewed on site and indulge in a delicious meal with seasonal dishes from their scratch kitchen. And check them out on Facebook or online at theseguysbrewing.com to stay up to date with their freshest brews, current menu, and upcoming events. These Guys Brewing Company, where it's all about good times, great food, and fantastic craft beer.
Ideal Skate Shop on 175 Central Avenue in Norwich, Connecticut. It's more than just your average skate shop. They offer an amazing selection of one-of-a-kind, hard-to-find vans you won't find anywhere else. Into disc golf? Well, come on in and check out their amazing stock of top-line discs. And in addition to custom skate decks, accessories, and parts, they carry local handmade merchandise from small businesses. That's the Ideal Skate Shop, 175 Central Avenue, Norwich, Connecticut. Give them a call at 860-334-5277 or on Facebook and Instagram at Ideal Skate Shop Norwich.
Heelfoot Clothing is the first 100% veteran sales team Owned by 2 local Connecticut combat wounded veterans, every garment is designed, printed, sold, handled, and shipped only by veterans. We source our products 100% made in the USA and believe if you have a flag on your shirt, that shirt should be made in the United States, period. Killfoot Clothing Company. American made, American proud.
All right. We're done with commercials for now. Now, more with Scott Fryer and Just a Guy with a Beer. Hey, he's back!
All right, welcome back to Just a Guy with a Beer, episode number 29. I'm talking with multi-talented Barb Baker, the Siren of Stout, all the way from Michigan tonight. And we were talking a little bit before the break about your awesome experiences in college and you know, beating everyone down in track and field when you were in high school. I think that's so awesome. So I think that's awesome, man. I was kind of a fast runner, but I liked baseball and I kind of wanted to run track. But I always had admired track athletes, right? Because you guys just go out there.
Baseball was your thing?
Yeah, baseball was totally, well, then it was baseball because we didn't have any other sports in the spring that I liked. So I Navy and I went to play lacrosse, and that changed my life. But baseball was definitely my thing in high school. But I always admired the track because my high school was known for its indoor and outdoor track teams. They were state champions. I think every year I was there, especially the hurdles. I think I tried to do the hurdles one day, just screwing around, and I almost killed myself. So never again. So I respect and I admire and admiration for the hurdler. That's awesome. So now we talked a little bit about that.
I need to put you in my pocket, Scott, because you need to go with me everywhere I go. Anytime I'm feeling like I go to an audition and I'm feeling a little bit down, I need to pull Mini Scott out of my pocket. You can go, Barb, you're awesome. You're great. And I'm gonna get this. Yeah, I need a hype man.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen. We talked a little bit about we talked a lot about your track thing, and then in 1996, you had the opportunity to go down to Atlanta to the Summer Olympic Games. Now I did go down there as well, and it was amazing. I was down there when the whole the bomb thing happened, and it was a little scary. I was in my hotel at the time when it happened, so I wasn't around it. But the whole atmosphere, even after that, I think the atmosphere was fantastic. I didn't have the same experience you did. So once you tell us, why you went down in there in the first place, what you did, and you said you met some athletes. So
yeah,
that's
I think
awesome.
no matter what your experience was, somehow that summer was magical.
Yes.
Like no matter if you were just passing through, if you weren't even at the Olympics, just being in Atlanta, everything was magical. I went down there because I didn't make the trials, so I wasn't invited as a runner. So I was invited. My assistant coach was part of the IOC. So he got me and my girlfriend a job as transportation supervisors for the athletes.
Okay.
So I got to meet Dan O'Brien. Remember Dan and Dave?
Yeah, absolutely. The decathletes.
Yep. So I got to meet Dan O'Brien, who was just as hot in person. And he signed a relay baton for me, which I still have. And Shaquille O'Neal, like remember the whole Dream Team? I was gonna say the Fab Five. That's the mother group. The whole Dream Team. Got to see all of them. I remember seeing all of I don't know their names, but like all the volleyball guys who I loved watching. I love watching men's volleyball Olympics. Awesome. In person, they're all hot and tall and magical. Yeah. And I got to just see a lot of track and field people that I've always admired.
Yes, and that's awesome because I got to see. I went to watch a little bit of the baseball, and I watched some of the swimming. I like this Olympic. My favorite event in the Summer Olympics is swimming, and I got a little bit of the women's gymnastics, which I thought was really cool. I just got whatever I could get to go to. I went that. If it was handball, it was handball. I didn't care what it was. I just wanted to go watch because it's the Olympics. It's the event. We'll see it. If Eric comes back, take my kids and go see some sport because lacrosse is going to be in the Olympics. So I hope my son can maybe have a chance.
Is it?
Yes. It's going to be this next Olympics, whenever they have it. It's going to be like kind of a exhibition event. It's not going to be a medal event. It's going to be an exhibition. But lacrosse, I mean, a lot of people don't know, and I hate to change the subject.
Okay.
I just have to because it's one of my passions. Lacrosse is one of those sports that so many nations play, and people don't realize the popularity. Like they have a World Cup for lacrosse, and there's teams from Ireland and Scotland and England, and there's a team from Russia, and they have teams come from Africa, which they're amazing teams out there, like places you wouldn't even think of, like Kenya, an awesome lacrosse team, and I like to watch it. I've actually got to make friends with some of the young men that play for the Kenyan lacrosse team.
Cool.
And of course, like Canada and the United States, we're going to be always probably for now with the Iroquois Nation. We're always going to be the teams that fight for the championship, for the World Cup. But it's a very popular sport, and it's growing and growing and growing. Most high schools have a lacrosse team now, and I think that maybe hopefully someday it'll be a medaled event in the Summer Olympics. So, and I'll go.
Yeah.
Because I coach college.
Okay.
I coach Division III lacrosse here in Connecticut, and it's my passion. My son's a good athlete, a good lacrosse athlete. He's going to go on and play college lacrosse more than likely. So, it's big in my family. I've been coaching for a while now, so it's something we're very passionate about. And that's what you were saying before. Like, you always do something that you're passionate about. Even if it takes you a little bit to get there. With your track and field. I mean, you went out there and boom, next thing you know, state champion. So, that's a good lesson for people. Don't ever give up on what you want to do. Just when you get there, make the most of it, because you never know when you'll ever get the opportunity again. So now we talked about.
Lauren Hill said something about if something is. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Lauren Hill said something about if something's placed on your heart, it's what you were meant to do. Like if there's something that you feel like, it's funny because like I said, since I'm a Gemini, so many things are placed on my heart. I literally am a jack of all trades, master of none. I'll go down this road and go, this seems fabulous. I'll do it till I get proficient, and then I'll move on to something else.
Yes.
But, athletics has been something that's been my passion. I have been a college coach, track and field coach as well. Modeling and entertainment and like TV commercials. That's been something I've wanted to do. Even when people said, you can never do that. You're really ugly. So I still was like, I don't care. I still want to do it. So, and now that's how I make money. I make money doing beer stuff. I make money doing commercials and TV hosting. I've been doing it for over 20 years now.
That's awesome. And you're right. I mean, you should never, if everybody just took when people tell them no, if someone told you no of something you wanted to do, people will just give up. I mean, you'd never get to do anything fun. Like,
yeah,
I never understood that. Like, if someone told me no, that would just make me want to do it more. Right? My parents
should, but a lot of people it doesn't, which is it's like when teachers are so that's why I hate when kids will tell me a teacher is negative, or you hear all those kind of stories. Not even just a teacher, but an instructor or somebody a trainer or a coach. You're looking for somebody for positivity, and if they tell you something negative, that can ruin you. Yes. Unless you have the resolve, that your parents really instilled in you, that can really just kill every dream you have.
Yeah, you see a lot. Yeah.
When I've. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you see a lot of the kids, like when a young man or a young woman gets told no, well, you can't do that. We don't want you to do that. We want you to do this and not that. But that young man or woman wants to do the other thing. I mean, you're right. It could have ruined them, but it also could make them even better. Like when they have that resolve and they say, "Hey, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do it because you told me I can't do it. You don't want me to do it. I'm going to go do it, and I'm going to be the best at it." And I love that. That's one of the rewards I have from coaching is to see kids overcome things and go on and be great. And I love that, even whether it's sports or not. You can't make the honor roll. Well, yes, I can. And not only going to make the honor roll, I'm going to be part of the National Honor Society. And that's what kind of kids that I love to coach, because those kind of kids are coachable kids, not the kids that, well, you already told me no, so I'm going to give up. And that's great. And I think that's awesome. And again, another lesson learned. Man, I'm so glad that you came on here because this is the kind of things that I like to talk about. Obviously. Now, I don't want to
old school in a lot of things. Like I believe in, I believe in cutting people from like I believe in tryouts and.
Oh, absolutely. Not everybody on the team. Yes.
Because not everybody is meant to be everywhere. Right. And I think by cutting, because I remember my husband, he also was a college basketball player. Mm-hmm. When he started and he was like in high school, the coach cut him. And it was kind of like a Michael Jordan story where he goes, if you go home and you practice, maybe next year you'll get on. I see stuff, but like you can't just let everybody just be a part of it and cloud up, people that are really going to go somewhere. And there are these people who are not, and they're like taking up the space. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So he went home and he said he practiced, and that was his passion and his dream. And now he's been a professional coach. He's been a college coach because that's what he wanted to do.
Yes, and I love that. It's something you can't really. I mean, I guess kids pick up on things, but you can't. You don't even really need to teach them. Like my son tried out for the basketball team in middle school a couple times. He didn't make it. And he knew that he was probably not going to make it, but the coach was good enough to say, hey, look, you have to do this and this. And if you could do these things next year, you can make the team. And in 8th grade, he worked.
That's a good coach.
He outworked every single kid on that team. I mean, there are kids that were way better than him, but he went out there and he worked harder and he was coachable. He listened to everything the coach said and he made the team. He knew he was the 12th man. He was that last bench. But he knew what his role was. He didn't go, well, I want more playing time, because he knew when the coach said, hey, Dylan, get in there, he knew it was to give the kids that were good a rest. And he went out there to go play defense, maybe, foul a couple kids and, real quick.
But there's honor in that.
Absolutely.
They're LeBron Jameses and they're Rudies. You can't just, not everyone can be LeBron. Somebody has to be the Rudy.
He loves basketball. Basketball is probably his favorite sport to watch, but hasn't been blessed with the gift of playing basketball. But when he went out there, I mean, it's funny because one of his first games, the team he was on was very, very, very good. They went undefeated and they won the state championship his 8th grade year. But the kids that are all his friends were so good at it, and they got him in the game. And then we were up probably 25, 30 points. And Dylan gets in the game and he starts shooting threes. And the coach but he starts hitting threes. Like he's banging threes. And the coach is like, Dylan, stop. Like, I never thought I'd have to tell your son to stop shooting threes. He even went to the other coach. I'm sorry, he doesn't get to play a lot. The guy's like, no way, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he knew what his role was, and that's the kind of kid you want to coach. And that's the kind of kid who ends up being successful down the line because they don't take no for an answer. I mean, sometimes that's also a curse. And if you have a daughter, so when your kid tell your kid no, sometimes no is not good enough. Sometimes they won't.
Stubborn.
Yes. We just had the incident with my son this afternoon. Same thing. We told him no, and he's like, well, why? Like, okay, well, sometimes that not taking no is not a good thing. So that's awesome.
You just take this no.
Yes, correct. This one you have to take. You have to know when to take the no's. But yes.
No, you're right about coachable kids. I would always rather have a less than talented, coachable, filled with sportsmanship kid than like a kid that's just naturally talented. And I've had that, and I feel like you gotta fight with those kids. The ones who are naturally talented, unless you have them from the beginning, a lot of times coaches just let them. And I'm telling you this because I'm thinking of a situation that thoroughly annoyed me. They let them get away with bloody murder. And I'm an old school coach where I'm very strict.
Yes.
I don't care if you're amazing or if you're crap. Everybody gets treated the same way.
So listen, we're coming up on another commercial break, unfortunately, but we have to step away just for a few moments. When we come back, we're going to talk about beer finally, because we can talk about this all night. We're going to talk about some beer. I'm drinking some awesome beer. We'll be right back. Episode number 29, Just a Guy with a Beer with Barb Baker, the Siren of Stout.
Scott will be back in just a couple minutes after he chugs this one down.
Hey, do you hear that? That's the sound of people getting together and having a good time. These are some of the sounds that you're gonna hear when you visit Epicure Brewing on Franklin Street in Norwich. Epicure is a craft brewery that wants you to experience friends, a lot of laughter, and of course, Epicure's craft beers on tap. Bring your friends or come down and make some new ones while enjoying the freshest quality beer in the area. Epicure Brewing is located at 40 Franklin Street, Norwich, right in the heart of the historic district of Norwich. Check out Epicure Brewing on the web at epicurebrewing.com, as well as finding them on Facebook. So come on down and add your voice to the sounds you hear in the background right now. Follow the hashtag Epicure Brewing for Life.
Unify is a local full-service marketing and branding agency that helps your business strategize, develop, and implement a marketing plan using the best platforms and materials to connect you with the right customers quickly. Find them on Facebook at Unify CT or on Instagram at Unify_CT, or call Laura directly at 860-326-6003. Strategize, develop, and connect. That's Unify.
During the break, Scott was contemplating his life choices.
I've done nothing with my life.
Now back to Scott Fryer and Just a Guy with a Beer.
All right, we are back on Just a Guy with a Beer, episode number 29. Got Barb Baker, the Siren of Stout, here on the show, and we are talking. This kind of went off the rails a little bit. I mean, we were supposed to be talking about beer, but I mean, when you get people that are passionate about things like coaching and stuff and molding kids, it just happens and it goes. But listen, I'm not mad about it. So we do need to talk about beer because, I mean, after all,
don't get me started on sports because
this is Just a Guy with a Beer, so we got to talk a little bit about beer now. I know this is a time of year when a lot of people have like dry Januaries, and because I'm doing it too. After only time I'm drinking now, for the next month or two is going to be on my show. And I don't want to ruin too much of it. So, but I do tonight. I am drinking an awesome beer. Now, I honestly, my friend RJ, my very good friend RJ, brought me this beer, and it's called No Signal by Resident Culture, and they are out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, I thought this was a stout, and because I kind of looked at the side, and I was like, oh. They have a little stout project. Okay, cool. I'll drink it, whatever. My buddy went out of his way, thought I'd like it, but then I poured it.
Nice.
I don't know if you can see this.
It's beautiful.
This thing is super dark crimson red. And it is, I mean, I'm going to put up.
Red velvet.
It looks so amazing. I'm about to put up on the screen. Here we go. I'm going to put up on the screen what I'm drinking here because this beer is very good. Okay, it's called No Signal by Resident Culture. It's a collab with a bunch of other breweries. There is no information. I'm gonna go find out because I want more of this beer now. But it's a kettle sour with marshmallows, raspberries, cherries, blackcurrant, and lactose. I mean, you can see it.
Gosh.
Amazing. So, I mean, the picture.
I've been eyeballing that this whole time.
See it. I don't know how you can see it because it kind of blends in with my wall. But I mean, I'm going to take a sip of it right now.
No, I saw it, and it looks gorgeous.
You'll be able to tell immediately if it's good or not by my face. Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
So it's different. I like kettle sour, but this kettle sours to me are not that's super hazy and it's thick.
Okay.
Only kettle sours are not that way. Just like plain a regular sour is normally that way. That you get a lot of the sour, but first you get the sour on the back end of it, but you get a lot of that raspberry, marshmallow, all the berry flavor like right at the beginning of it, and you get the sour after it. That's a well-built beer. That's very good. So again, this is following the Resident Culture out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Now I got to go there. COVID. That's one thing COVID has stopped me from visiting some of these amazing breweries that are these beers I've been trying. And as I said to you when we talked on Friday, if it wasn't for the COVID, I would not have probably been doing what I'm doing right now. So there's kind of a blessing and a curse. But as soon as this stuff's over, there are a lot of these smaller breweries
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go out to, and I'm going to go see them, and I'm going to promote the hell out of them because they have made me happy over the last year or so.
Yeah. You can take your show on the road.
Yes, there's a couple places I would definitely like to go. So we got to get a hold of these people. But no, this is No Signal. The can art's cool. It's like it's almost kind of neat because you don't know if you can see it. It's almost like a Zoom meeting, and the people's faces like there's a it's almost like the Blair Witch Project, and it's almost each little frame in the picture is like a horror movie. Like there's I forget the name of the horror movie where there's a paranormal, and there's a Shining one. There's this Nosferatu and the Ring Girl. It's really cool.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on in that can, but the beer, like as good as the can art is, the beer is fantastic. So well done,
Awesome.
Resident Culture. And now I see you. Are you drinking water?
No, I'm drinking two things: Hoppy Refresher, hop water,
Oh,
and also this All Out. What is it? Extra dark. It's because I am doing dryuary, so it's an extra dark stout. And also, I like to try all of these too.
yes.
I've never had a non-alcoholic stout before, so this would be the first on your show that
Excellent.
it smells delicious. I will say this one thing I've noticed with the non-alcoholics: they don't keep ahead at all.
Yeah.
They sort of dissipate quickly.
Yes.
Wow,
Really.
it tastes like a stout.
Really.
Yeah, this tastes like a stout.
Now tell me again who makes that, Barb?
It could have a tad more carbonation. It is Athletic Brewing, all out, non-alcoholic. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Now where are they from?
So Athletic Brewing. They are Stamford, Connecticut.
Hey, I thought it sounded familiar.
Or Stratford?
Stratford sounds right.
Stratford, not Stamford. Stratford,
So
Connecticut.
I'm wondering if they.
Yeah, there it is. Sounds bigger. I couldn't read it.
Stratford, Connecticut also has Two Roads is brewed in Stratford, Connecticut as well. So I kind of wonder. I'm going to do some research on that. So I want to now because now I want it. So especially if I'm taking a beer break, I want.
They have quite a few.
I want to try that for sure.
Yeah, I tried their IPA, which was good, and their cerveza, which was good, and I just bought a double dry hop one from them, and I'm excited to try that. This, I'm telling you, if there was a tad bit more carbonation to this, you'd have no idea this was none. It's less of a stout, and it almost feels like a porter, but you'd have no idea this didn't have any alcohol in it.
You drank like 10 of them. Like, why am I not hammered right now?
I know, and not bloated.
Right. So
because
now,
it's a little bit lighter, but this is great.
my friend Becca, I don't know if you can see the comments. My friend Becca, who's one of my awesome sponsors at These Guys Brewing, she said it's the additives that kill the carbonation. So I think that's what she's talking. The additives. I'll show you here. Right.
Oh, the additives.
The additives.
The attitudes.
Well, maybe that too. The attitude of it. But yeah, she knew it was brewed here in Connecticut. So, now she her and her husband, her husband Ray, they own These Guys Brewing, one of my great sponsors, one of my title sponsors, and they're here in Norwich, Connecticut. Well, not here, about 20 minutes away. They have a great spot. They do some fantastic beers, and they do some their food there is. If you ever get out this way, I'm bringing you there. We'll hook up, and I'll take you to these guys because their menu is amazing. Their beer is fantastic. So she knows it all. And I'm not surprised that she knew exactly what you were talking about when you started talking about all that, and then she knew where it was. So that's great. So I listen. I have some really great sponsors. Like I have Epicure Brewing, who's actually 2 doors down from these. They're fantastic. I'm here in the Epicure Brewing studio, and I have Lemanic Brewing, out Willimantic, Connecticut,
Okay.
and they're credited to me. They're credited with the first craft beer from Connecticut that I ever had, and I had Dave on the show. I think it was right before the holidays, and it was really awesome. And he's such a great dude. I was so excited. I was kind of like geeked out to meet Dave because I loved his beer for so long. I actually met him. It was really, really cool to go out there and meet Dave because he's like the
That's
godfather of brewing in this part of the state. So and Becca always says that she makes a gluten reduced beer called Anamkara that has the same issue. So I guess it's like you said, it's the stuff you put in it. So I'll show you what she says. It's either gluten reduced beer.
Okay.
I have not had that one, right? Because I don't know. I mean, I'm not we had this conversation yesterday in Costco about the gluten and the gluten free, and I don't know. What do we do before gluten free stuff? Everybody had stomach issues. I don't know.
I actively look for the gluten free stuff, not for me, but because my best friend is kind of a celiac, she's like on that teetering on that, so she does. So like I don't think she could do gluten reduced. She does strictly gluten free. But I mean, when we were younger, we used to drink beer together, and now she only drinks wine. So when I do find beers, like there's some that are made of sorghum and some other stuff, then I'll find them and I'll send them to her. So
there's not that many.
Try
I know.
No,
I can't remember the one I've seen. It like I know it's like a covered bridge on the bottle. I don't know what it is. I know it's
even Oreo.
Oh, what happened? Did we lose you? Oh.
Doing that.
There we go.
Yeah, even Oreo cookies have come out with gluten-free Oreos.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
I just saw them in the store, and I was like, really?
I mean, I don't know. I will tell you right now, this is not gluten-free. And it is not alcohol. Very, very good.
Neither is mine.
Becca says
I actually did look up the carb amount in this.
Oh. I'm going to start doing that because I've never, I mean, I'm 50 years old now.
Don't do that.
We got to start doing the carb counts and calorie counts because, I mean, I want to be around and see my grandkids. So I got to start kind of being a little bit healthier, a little bit health conscious. So now Becca also.
You just you make better choices. You don't drink. I mean, honestly, in December, I was waking up and drinking every day. I'm like, it's Christmas.
The beer fryer will be
31 days.
We're up against the commercial break. I wasn't even paying attention. We'll come right back and we'll talk a little bit more about beer and we'll get into the rest.
If you're in the market for a used vehicle at a great price, head over to GNS Auto Sales in Franklin, Connecticut and take a look at their great selection. BMW, Audi, Dodge, Chevy, Ford, and so much more. And whether it's an oil change, brake repair, or the check engine light, let Pat, Wendy, and their team of professionals take care of all your automotive needs. That's GNS Auto Sales located in Franklin, Connecticut. Give them a call at 860-383-0050 or find them on the web at www.gnsautosales.llc.com.
The Ideal Skate Shop on 175 Central Avenue in Norwich, Connecticut is more than just your average skate shop. They offer an amazing selection of one-of-a-kind, hard-to-find vans you won't find anywhere else. Into disc golf? Well, come on in and check out their amazing stock of top-line discs. And in addition to custom skate decks, accessories, and parts, they carry local handmade merchandise from small businesses. That's the Ideal Skate Shop, 175 Central Avenue, Norwich, Connecticut. Give them a call at 860-334-5277 or on Facebook and Instagram at Ideal Skate Shop Norwich.
Mr. Beardo, beard oils and tattoo juice are the highest quality, no BS oils on the market. All hand and homemade to meet the specific needs of everyone's beard and ink. Just a guy with a beard personally uses both of these products, and I can tell you that my ink has never looked better, and my beard is fuller, thicker, and healthier than ever. Get your beard pumping and your tattoo popping with Mr. Beardo, beard oils and tattoo juice. Find him on the web at www.mrbeardo.com. Killfoot Clothing is the first 100% veteran sales team owned by two local Connecticut combat wounded veterans. Every garment is designed, printed, sold, handled, and shipped only by veterans. We source our products 100% made in the USA and believe if you have a flag on your shirt, that shirt should be made in the United States, period. Killfoot Clothing Company, American made, American proud. Have you got a taste for exquisitely crafted beer and pub grub with a free flair? Then These Guys Brewing Company on Franklin Street in Norwich, Connecticut has got what you're craving. Enjoy a variety of classic and unique craft beers brewed on site and indulge in a delicious meal with seasonal dishes from their scratch kitchen. And check them out on Facebook or online at theseguysbrewing.com to stay up to date with their freshest brews, current menu, and upcoming events. These Guys Brewing Company, where it's all about good times, great food, and fantastic craft beer.
During the break, Scott was contemplating his life choices.
I've done nothing with my life.
Now back to Scott Fryer and Just a Guy with a Beer.
All right, we're back on Just a Guy with a Beer, episode number 29. I have the Siren of Stout, Barb Baker, here with me. We're talking about awesome athletics, awesome athletes, and then we just talked a little bit about
Everything.
beer. I mean, we kind of got carried away with the beer. I lost track of time, and that's what that happens when you start having great conversations with good people. You really lose track of time, and I kind of went up against my break, and I didn't even realize it. So, listen, it's still a learning process. I haven't even been doing this a year yet, so I'm getting there. But
Well, you know what? I'm putting you guys on my after pandemic travel list. I really had a big list. I was like, I would love to see every, beer person I've encountered. And, the pandemic's kind of put a hold on that. But, yeah, I've never been to Connecticut, so.
I will personally escort you. Listen, you come here, bring your husband with you, and Brendan and I will take you out on the Connecticut beer tours, and we will go. And I will take you to some great spots because not only will I take you to all my awesome sponsors, these guys, Willimantic, Epicure, I'll take you to some other great places too because I really think that Connecticut does not get enough credit in the craft beer community because, especially in the United States.
As we were talking, it seems like there's tons and tons of breweries, and I'm like, I'd love to just.
Yeah, and they're coming up. They're popping up all the time around here. I mean, just in my area, I can think of 10 within a 15, 20-minute drive of me. And I mean,
wow.
Think about places like Portland, Maine, and Burlington, Vermont. That's not a whole lot, but for this part of the state, it's a lot. So, I mean, Connecticut has.
The state's not huge.
No, it's not. And even Rhode Island has some great spots. Tilted Barn and Proclamation and Long Live and Buttonwood. And there really are some fantastic breweries here in the state of Connecticut and New England. I'll put New England against any region in the country about beer, and we will display it. But I will tell you what, Barb, I'm starting to get a little fan of Charlotte, North Carolina, because the last 2 or 3 beers I had from there have been pretty fantastic. I don't know if you've ever been to Charlotte, but it's on my list of places I want to go. The Raleigh, Charlotte area. I want to hit it because their beer is just amazing.
Their food is good too.
I'm all about that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been down there a couple of times for work. Because I worked with car companies for probably almost 18 years. I did a lot of auto shows and I did car training and worked with Volvo and Porsche. So so I'm in automotive cars too. There you go.
Right.
So this automotive is cars. So yeah, I've been sent down there, and it's a beautiful place, beautiful people. I didn't do a lot of beer drinking, but I did a lot of eating, and great place.
Yes, that's awesome. That's the thing too. Like whenever we go away, I'm always looking ahead. Like I'm thinking ahead. Like, okay, we're going here. What do they got for beer there? My wife will say, "Oh, how come everything's rotated around beer?" But that's because that's what I do. That's what I like.
Yeah,
have to be, but I kind of like it to be.
Yeah, that's what you love. I usually rotate things around beer and food, and then spots that I've never been to. Like I usually look ahead and go, what makes this place famous? Where is it a museum? Should I hit that? And so I remember I was in Texas and it was fried bacon, like chicken fried bacon. Like I wanted to go to that place. So I drove to that place. The best chicken fried steak. So I drove that. Like I love stuff like that. And there are usually holes in the wall,
right?
But their food is just tremendous.
Yes. Those are always the best places to go, right? when I lived in South Carolina, there was a soul food restaurant there that was really, really tiny, and only the locals knew about it. And one of my friends that lived there said, "You got to go try this, man." I'm a Jersey boy. I'm a city boy, and I don't know. I don't know if I wanted to go there, but I went in there, and that was my favorite place to eat. And I know it's still there, and someday I'm going to get back because listen, I grew up eating not soul food. I mean, we didn't eat those kind of things, but those kind of when I went down there, I like craved those things. Like someone put a fish in front of me, and the fish still had its fins on. It didn't have a head. It was a fried fish, and it had its fins on. What's to do with this? But I mean, those are the kind of things you learn.
Eat it.
Too. It's amazing. It's a complete culture, and that's why I like going different places because when I was in the Navy, I liked, even though some things may have been gross, that I looked at and saw like, I said, well, you know what? When am I ever going to get a chance to get back to country X and try food B? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to do it because I'm here. When in Rome,
Or gross to you, but I mean, not them.
Right. Like case in point, I went to Spain and they had some paella, and I've had paella before, but they had this squid ink paella, and it was black, and I'm like, that looks disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, when am I ever going to ever eat squid ink paella in Spain? So hey, I'm all about it, and I did it, and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
so I think about it all the time. I really want that.
And you can only get it there, so you're glad you tried it.
I've never seen it anywhere else, but I have to go back to Spain and have it again. So that's one of the benefits, of being able to travel around, and especially in the United States. And you said you've been all over, and our country has some really great culture in different parts of the country.
Oh yeah,
you have like the best food and the beer, and I'm also a bourbon guy, so you go to the heartland where in Kentucky and Tennessee, that's where the bourbon capital of the country is, and it's absolutely amazing out there. So now you said you were working for some car companies, and you went to shows and stuff. What did you do?
I did a number of things. I started off as a product specialist and a narrator. So, like I do voiceovers of commercials. Basically, have you been to an auto show?
My son is a car head. My son is a huge car fan. The kid knows more than the people that are actually running the show. Go to these shows.
Yeah. So I did that for a really, really long time where, you dress up, and I was with Land Rover for 12 years. And that was just doing that. We show up, you stand on a stage, you have the mic, and you're like a model doing that. And then I did do car, like training, where I go and I teach people how the car works. I would teach people how to drive the vehicle. So I did some, that was a BMW. So I did where I was teaching people actually how to drive stick, or how to do, how to do driving where it's like aggressive driving.
Okay.
So I've done a lot. I mean, I've actually done precision driving in commercials because I've taught other people how to drive. So, like I said, I just keep trying different things and doing different things, and because life is so entertaining. Life is so, I always push people to travel, go outside the United States. You said you were in Spain. Spain is such a beautiful place with beautiful people, and the food is delicious. And I remember before I went to China, somebody had told me, a couple people said, "Oh, they're not very friendly to Black people in China." And I go, "I'll find that out myself."
Oh, they love it
there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. People would take my picture. People were telling me how gorgeous I was. I am probably in a million people's photo albums because they were just taking my picture.
Yes.
And I think they thought I was like what'd you say?
Stefan Marbury is like the second biggest person, like most important person in the history of China. It's right.
I believe it.
Stefan Marbury is like, he played in China when he was not good enough to play in the NBA anymore. He played out in NBA, and he's out in the China league, and he's like a national hero out in China.
Oh yeah. They love those guys when they go out there.
Yes.
So it was amazing. The food was delicious. it was, if you go somewhere with an open mind, I feel like this with even beer. When people go, I don't like that or I don't like this, open your mind first, and then your palate will be open second. So with any situation, I open my mind and I come in as a blank slate. And I had a ball. And my cousin was an expat that was there. And he was like, why don't you move here and hang out? And I'm thinking I should have quit my job and did that.
Right.
But I didn't. I came back for the job and I quit in about like 3 months later. I was like, I'm letting this job hold me back. So.
When you got to travel the
Yeah.
world, it'd be awesome. And then you said you do a lot of voiceovers. Anything that we might have heard?
It's so weird. I've done so many of them that it's here's the thing. Once you hear something and you're like, and I told you that you did it, then you'll start hearing me more places.
Yes.
I've done a lot of Ford stuff, and I'm trying to think of what I've done now, lately. And I can't think of anything, but yeah, I've done a lot of automotive voiceovers and hospital voiceovers, and just, because my voice is very, and it's announcery,
Right.
so, because I'm a TV host, and that's what I've been doing for 20 years. So, I do a lot of that sort of storytelling, Morgan
Right.
Freeman type stuff. So,
Pretty good.
yeah, I can't think of anything, but if you hear me, then you'll start going, why do I keep hearing her? Or once somebody sees me on TV, they'll go, I keep seeing you on TV all the time. Now that I've spotted you once, now
Yes.
I keep.
I'm going to look. My dad asked, have you ever done the Porsche experience in LA?
Say that again?
My dad is asking if you've ever done the Porsche experience in Los Angeles.
I have not done that. I have done the LA Auto Show with Land Rover for many, many, many years. And I've done the Volvo experience. And sometimes the places start running together because you do, a 20 city tour. And let's say you're going every Friday and Saturday, Sunday,
Right.
Things start, you do the BMW tour. Then the
Right.
next time you do an Acura tour, then you're like, where was I at?
Oh my God. Your head spins. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like, you don't care where you're at. You go in, everyone goes out drinking, you go to work, you work all day, you go back. But see, you're not really seeing the sights,
Right.
because you don't have the time. So,
Well, listen, we're almost to the end of the show, and I hate to say goodbye because this has been such a fun time, and I'd love to have you come back. So we're about a minute away, and I really wanted to say
I'd love to come back.
I'd love to have you back because we have so much more we could talk about. I would like to say happy birthday to my friend Aaron, who owns Beard Brewing in Stonington and Groton, Connecticut, and also my friend Kelsey, who's Connecticut CT Brugal on Instagram. If you want, you can follow her. She's awesome. So happy birthday, guys. And I did want to say, I'm going to tease one thing, Barb. My friend Laura from Unify, she's my marketing person that we do marketing together. She's teaching me a lot of stuff. It's going to be an apparel, Just a Guy with a Beer apparel site coming very, very soon. Hopefully the next couple weeks. So that's going to be awesome. But thank you again, Barb. I could not think of a better way to kick off Black History Month.
This is my apparel.
I love it. Just a Guy with a Beer. And you've been great. Thank you so much. Please stay healthy. Please stay happy. And I will talk to you on Instagram. Everybody at home, please be healthy, be safe. If you're out here in New England, drive safe. Please don't beer shame your friends. Tune in next week. It's going to be an awesome show. I'll tease it during the week on my Instagram. Take care, everybody. Don't beer shame.
Cheers.
To Just a Guy with a Beer with Scott Fryer. Check out Scott Fryer next time over most of these same radio stations for conversation, information, intelligence, and lots more beer. See you next time on Just a Guy with a Beer with Scott Fryer.
Okay, bye. Stop making noise.